What is up, YouTube? I am back to my normal grind, and it is a little weird. So unless you caught my last MotoVlog where I had a little bit of a time lapse in some of the travel for going up to Minnesota for my grandma's funeral over the weekend, let me fill you in on a few things that went down on that trip. So I had never done more than 100 miles in a day. I hadn't even done 100. I think 85 was the most I'd done in a single day. And all of a sudden in one day I did 385 and then spent a day up there and then did 385 back. So needless to say, I didn't know what to expect, and I drive a sport bike, so it was quite uncomfortable, but I made it. The way back was a little less painful than the way up, so I learned a lot on the way up, how long I should go before I take a break, and vice versa, how long I can go before I start to cramp up too terribly bad. Another thing I learned is to not elongate the brakes too long. Like, there was one break on the way up that I probably shouldn't have waited so long before getting on the bike, because I hurt when I got back on, man. I was so sore, and it was cold. Look at you texting. Yep. Risk my life, thanks. Yep, just keep on texting. Watch the fucking road. So another thing that I learned from this experience is that before you ride across state lines, you might want to check and see if there's any laws about your motorcycle or anything that are different in the other states. So as you can see, I don't have mirrors on my bike. Nebraska state law does not require me to. However, both Iowa and Minnesota, the two states I drove in, require at least one mirror on a motorcycle. Luckily, I didn't get pulled over because that would have been a shitty ticket, but I failed to look it up until the morning I was headed home. And so the whole time going through Minnesota and Iowa on the way home to Nebraska, I was like, shit, anytime I saw a cop, because man, they could pull me over and cite me for that, but I lucked out. You know, another thing that I learned while I was on the trip is that I need to invest in some riding gear. All I had was jeans, a t-shirt, and a light hooded sweatshirt, because it was supposed to be sunny and like 75 the whole way. Both days, but I hit clouds and about 10 degrees cooler weather for most of Iowa on the way up, and that was cold, man. A hooded sweatshirt, especially a light, thin one, does not give you good wind protection, especially when you're on a 70-mile-an-hour interstate and the traffic flow's doing about 85 to 90 the whole way. Let alone at that pace, if I were to go down, that shit would just get torn up and my body would be a mangled mess. So thankfully I stayed on two wheels the whole way, rubber side down, as they say. But man, things could have gone bad. And one other thing that I failed to realize until I had already started making the journey is that the tags on my plates expired at the end of September, and I drove up on September, was it 30th or 31st? Whatever the last day of the month was. And didn't travel back till October 2nd. So I was technically unregistered on my bike while I was riding back with no mirrors in two states that require at least one. What are you doing? So needless to say, that's where I'm headed right now, is to the DMV to get my new tags. Alright, bike's legal again, except for actually putting the tag on my plate, but I'm gonna do that when it's a little warmer. I've had bad experiences when it's chilly like it is today. of that sticker not sticking, and I prefer it to stay. But now it's time to get to work, because I haven't been there in 5 days, and I'm interested to see if I still remember how to do my job. Man, what is it with all this clown bull crap? Why in anybody's right mind, after hearing reports of clowns hanging out near the edge of woods trying to lure kids in, would more people start dressing up like it? Are you stupid? Do you think it's that funny? Because all you're gonna do is either get your ass whooped, get arrested, or get shot. There's certain things that copycatting is okay. This is one of those things that, I mean, that's just completely stupid and ignorant to want to copycat it. What it really boils down to is they just need to quit clowning around. Hello, airplane. You know, and I don't care who you are, if you're dressed up like a clown or not. If you're trying to lure my kids away and get them into some woods or offer them some candy or anything and I'm not around, oh, and I find out about it, there's gonna be hell to pay. I don't give a shit what you're trying to do, what your intentions are, even if you're just trying to be nice. If you don't know me, you don't know my kids, and you're being a creep, well, I think that's about enough of it. So we'll see you backwards.